When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
She is the CEO of Hydro-Quebec, and it is my great pleasure to welcome her once again to the program. Sophie Brochu, how are you doing?
I am fine, sir, and yourself?
Doing well. The first time you were on this show was right just a few days after you were named the new CEO of Hydro-Quebec. And for everyone who was listening to that interview, I just have one update. Yes, Sophie Brochu did accept my request on LinkedIn to connect. So thank you, Madame Brochu, for accepting my LinkedIn request. I really do appreciate it.
It's the minimum. It's the minimum. To me, it's the minimum. You have an invitation, you accept.
So I have to ask you, where are you working? Where does the CEO of Hydro-Quebec work right now during a pandemic? Are you at home? Are you going into an empty office? What's your work life right now?
All of the above.
Mm-hmm.
Like this morning, I am home, and this week I will go to the south shore of Montreal. What we try to do is to lead by example and to try to distance ourselves in as much as possible. So we have a fairly large office on the south shore of Montreal, where lots of our management resides. So from time to time, we have working meetings there. Sometimes we go to the head office, although this is less regular at the head office. But I do travel around Quebec, actually.
How has COVID-19 affected Hydro-Quebec's finances?
In a major way. As you can appreciate, we went through sort of the same pattern than other companies. The electricity consumption went down in Quebec. It also went down on our export market. So we had to register a decrease in our sales and revenues. And there is another reality. When everybody had to be home and could not go outside, a lot of our investment projects, like when you build dams or you build transmission line, what we call our large investment program, our people had to stay home. And when they're home, you cannot, this is an accounting reality, but you have to expense those people. You cannot account for them and capitalize. So long story short, we said that we expect our revenues to go from $2.8 billion our earnings, to probably a bit north of $2 billion. So
wow.
It's a few $100 million. No, it's a reality. It's tough, but at the same time, there are other companies going through this. But we need to realize that nobody is immune from this stuff, and hopefully we'll have a vaccine soon.
And even for something, we all need electricity, but even for a business like that, it is getting affected. With the CEO of Hydro-Quebec, Sophie Brochu, is this also going to affect Hydro-Quebec's international aspirations? We had heard for the longest time that Hydro is not just thinking about Quebec, but they're thinking about export deals and working in internationally to bring revenue in. Have you had to put the brakes on that stuff?
Well, it's not a matter of putting the brakes. Let me first, we don't characterize the United States as our international market.
Yes.
So everything that we can do south of our border, especially exports, especially project and transmission lines that allow us to move our renewable energy to people who aspire to be better on the environmental front, we will continue to pursue. We do international research with some of the laboratories. It's a major aspect of Hydro-Quebec. We tend to forget it. We don't talk about it much, but Hydro-Quebec invests about $100 million a year in research. In many aspects of the research, batteries would be one of them. So we do have links with other people internationally so that we can dovetail on our respective research program. As far as going out and buying a company, let's say in Chile or Peru, it was already very difficult, I believe, even before pandemia. Now it is more difficult, but with or without pandemia, today people who buy large infrastructures are people that come from the pension fund universe. The world is awash in cash, which is kind of mind-boggling when we see everything that is happening. But there is a lot of cash that is looking for a place to get a return, and those would be among others within the hands of the pension fund. So they do acquire those companies at a very, very high cost. We're not into that business. We are industrial people. We need to create value from our trade and our expertise. So if we find something that allows us to actually create value and valorize who we are, we will move on it. But there is so much work to do in North America right now, so much work to do in Quebec to restart the economy. And it's not being parochial to be a realist and say we're going to funnel our energies and our human energy in North America.
Can I ask you about some of the consumer-facing things that Hydro-Quebec is doing? ELO, for instance, or HILO, I guess in English, that initiative you have for the smart home. Is it full speed ahead on that, or is that also something that you have to have a second look at in light of COVID-19?
No. This is something that we are full speed ahead. We announced, I believe this is last week, that we are engaging in a more active way. For the people on air who would not know exactly what HILO is all about, we are in Quebec. We have winter, and we heat with electricity. And bringing electricity in the top coldest days in winter costs a lot of money because you need to build infrastructure to answer those few hours. So if you want to sell more electricity, if you want to electrify more the economy, we need to find ways to do two things: bring more energy and reduce the consumption. So HILO essentially is allowing HQ and its residential customer who elect to embark into the program to exchange information and allow Hydro-Quebec to, via ELO, to influence the way people consume energy on those peak hours by reducing heat, by working in managing the electricity consumption within the home. We call it the intelligent home. Being intelligent, you can actually, do it yourself manually, but lots of people just don't have the time to do that. Yeah. So it's comfort, it's domotic, it's intelligence, it's the new way of doing things. So we don't force people into it, but we have a lot of people who show interest, and we're happy about that.
So I have one more question for you, and we're with Sophie Brochu, CEO of Hydro-Quebec, and it's going to be the political question of the morning, okay?
Okay.
I've said this before on this program. I view Hydro-Quebec to be just a jewel. Our hydro rates are so low. I know people like to complain about hydro rates, but you look at North America, we are so lucky. And the other thing is my experience with Hydro-Quebec, and what I hear from other people is that you treat Anglophones, you provide customer service to English people in a way that not a lot of other crown corporations do. And I respect that so much. So, Hydro-Quebec is right up there for me. Okay. But we are hearing news that the minister responsible for the French language, Simon-Jolin Barrette, may be thinking about cracking down on offering English services to anyone who, let's say, is an immigrant or who doesn't qualify as a, quote, historical Anglo. If the government were to say to you, hey, stop giving so much service in English, what would you say? I told you, it's political.
No, it's a very good question. I would say that since people are obligated to do business on the power side with Hydro-Quebec, they have no choice. And I believe that we need to serve people. I mean, I cannot serve in Germany. I cannot serve in Spanish. But I believe that if somebody needs English to be dealing with a monopoly and they don't have the choice, I think it is our responsibility to provide them with the adequate level of language and service.
Sophie Brochu is the CEO of Hydro-Quebec. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Always a pleasure. Be safe and have a good week.
Oui, à vous aussi. Merci beaucoup.
Merci, au revoir.